Good morning and welcome to Rural Route 2. This morning I'm going to talk about how we go ahead and make pickles using cucumbers and dill. And I'll begin the process with these mason jars here. We just wash them and reuse them and store them downstairs in our cold cellar, and then we pull them up around this time of the year when we go to make sauces and pickles. So what I do is normally when we are finished using these from the previous year, we run them through a clean cycle in the dishwasher and then store them. And then before I go to use them the next year, I wash them in hot soapy water here. And then I place them on a cookie sheet and put them in the oven at a low 200. Sorry, my daughter was blowing the whistle in the house there. So I put them on about 200 in the oven, and I just let them get really, really hot. Oh, Catherine. There. So that is how I begin things. So here we are, ready for the next phase of canning and making these pickles. So in the oven here, I have my jars sitting, ready to go. I bake them around 175 to 200. And I just keep them like that to be nice and hot for when I pour the hot brine into the jars after I stuff them with the pickles and the dill. So here are the pickles here, the cucumbers here. And I always chop off this end of the cucumber here, the one that had the leaf on the end. It just helps, from what I've read, the pickles to remain crunchy and not get soft. So I have them in here in cold water. I've just brought them out from the fridge. These were picked on Thursday and it is now Saturday. So I just washed them up a little bit in here and then cut off the end. And then I'll show you the rest of my setup on the stove here as I prepare. So as I cut up the cucumbers, I kind of arrange them by size. This one's a little bit smaller. And I like to put the cucumbers that are of similar sizes in the same jars. You don't have to do that, that's just what I do. And oh, that's a big. Then next over here, I have the dill, which will be added to the jars before I get the pickles in, and sometimes I put a little bit on top as well. Then set up over here, I'll end up boiling these lids here, and I've got these snap lids that will go on, which will seal onto the jar. Ready to go in here is a mixture of vinegar and water and pickling salt. So this is just the pickling salt that I use. Oh, here's a Fiber One bar, half eaten, and a wrapper. Then in here is just my canning pot. So I've got hot water from the sink in there from the tap, and I'll turn that on to get that boiling once I'm ready for the jars to go in. And that's kind of the prep work involved in making these pickles, and I'll continue to video more as I get more accomplished. So here I have my daughter helping me. These jars are out of the oven and are very, very hot, and she's putting the dill in each one of them, and then we'll stuff them with the pickles. Here are some of the cucumbers we're going to use, And we'll just go ahead and put them in the jars. So if you want to start packing the cucumbers in, just the cucumbers. So we're going to put as many as we can in each one. Okay, we've got our jars pretty well filled to the top, and we've got some dill sitting in amongst the top. Just trying to get all the pickles packed in there tightly. And our brine is boiling here, so we next will put that into the jars. So here I have a wide mouth funnel that I place on top of my jar, and I'm just going to ladle the brine right into the jar. And just fill it up to the top. The more pickles you're able to get in there, the less brine you need, and I will do approximately a ½ inch of headspace from the top. So just like that, that's the first one. And put this on here. And then this is magnetic, and that's why it just pulls those out. And then I will just loosely set that on there because it is super duper hot. Give it a bit of a squeeze, not crazy tight. So now I have these grabbers, which are very useful. I can grab around the neck of the can, and I set it in here, where then once this is all full, if you want to get a shot on the inside, this is full here, then we can drop that in and start giving those a water bath. Okay, so here we have 5 jars in there. These are 1 quart size. Now the recipe I used said that the brine that I used, which was 8½ cups of water, 2 1/4 cups of white vinegar, and a ½ cup of pickling salt, would give me enough for 7 quarts. But, and I didn't boil any off. I don't think that's enough for another quart yet, so I would say it safely gives you 5. Maybe I'm just not very good at packing the pickles in there. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to drop these jars in for, ooh, that was squeaky, a water bath. So we'll put them in there like that. I'll put the lid on, and we will wait about 15 minutes. Well, this is the progress so far. We've got quite a few jars of pickles. I have done small ones like this, and now I've moved into some bigger ones that are sliced, and also green and yellow beans. So we'll see how those turn out. So these are all starting to seal. So that one you can still press. This one you can't, so this one has sealed. That one will seal yet. This one, see, it's not sealed yet. But the rest of them are all sealed. As they cool down, it creates a vacuum and pulls this down to be sealed.
Dada, Mama, Mommy.
Yes, honey.
Mommy.
Here, I will show you the finished product with everything all lined up. So here are the final results of the canning that we did with the cucumbers, and then I I stuck some beans in there as well. So we got a lot done. And they've all sealed really nicely. So we will go ahead and store these in our cold cellar. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Take care.